Hi, I'm JJ. Welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do another blind date with a book. I did not get through, I didn't even start my nonfiction book yet. I did finish my fiction and my audiobook, so before I choose a new one, I wanted to review the two books that I read. So the physical book was The Unlikely Pursuit of Mary Bennet. It was the sequel to Pride and Prejudice. I enjoyed it. It was a great Pride read. It was a good summer read. With all the flowers and gardening descriptions and stuff, it could have also been a good spring read. I enjoyed the depth and exploration of Charlotte and Mary. It was nice to have them well-rounded rather than the one-dimensional characters that were barely mentioned in the original. I would have liked to actually see and experience this writer's version of Elizabeth Bennet. She was mentioned a lot and in letters and stuff, but she was not actively featured in the story, which I would have preferred seeing her just at least a little bit. I did love the found family that she created. It was this like underground queer community that Mary got to introduce Charlotte to, which I thought was a highlight of the book. It was nice to see them interacting with other people and feel welcomed and understood, and to know that there's this whole world out beyond what the isolated and naive Charlotte had known. So I did enjoy that exploration. I did enjoy the book, and I'm glad that I read it. The second book that I chose, number 4, was the audiobook Glimpses of the Moon by Edith Wharton, and she's one of my favorite writers. I've enjoyed everything that I've read from her so far. The Age of Innocence, House of Mirth, her novella trilogy, Old New York, was fantastic. Some of my favorite writing. So I was really excited to listen to this book, and it did start out slow for me. It took me a while to care about the characters, but the dialogue, it was still witty and snappy, and by the end of the book I was like thoroughly fixated on it, and I did enjoy it. It just didn't register with me the way that her others have, but I still would rate it almost 4 stars, 3.75, which is low for her books for me, but still highly enjoyable. It was just because it took so long for me to get into it. But it's the story of Nick and Susie, who are a married American couple who are not wealthy by any means. They're not poor, but they don't have a lot, and so they make a pact that if either of them finds a better match for them, that they're free to pursue it, and they'll get a divorce and let their the other one go free. Obviously, them still being in love does cause, jealousy and misunderstandings and moments of like, was this really the best idea that we had? Like, is money and prestige and a more, I guess, secure future worth sacrificing our genuine love for? Or should we fight for that love? Like, that's something that each of them have to understand as they have more suitors and they have more opportunities once they put themselves out there. So the premise I found fascinating. There were some parts in it that I didn't feel hit the mark completely, but it was still something I would highly recommend. Okay, so now I get to choose what I'm going to be working on next. I only picked the fiction books again this time. When I finally get around to finishing my nonfiction, I'll do that separately. Okay. Four. I don't know why I'm drawing right from the middle, but The Civil War of Amos Abernathy. This would have been another one that would have been perfect for Pride Month, but I am excited to read it anyway. It is a middle grade book. I actually found a new bookstore that I'm really excited about, and it's a children's middle grade and young adult bookstore that has such a diverse and inclusive selection that I just want to go and continue to support that bookstore. And when I walked in last month, they had a whole Pride table, and this book was actually the first book I saw when I walked in the store, so it's what caught my eye and I wanted to get it. But it's this Amos is he's a trans kid who he's been volunteering for the Civil War reenactments in the United States, and so he starts to wonder if maybe other people within history in that time period might have been like him, and starts his own research project with another kid like him who volunteers for the reenactments, which I thought sounded fun and interesting, and something that I'm excited to read. As for that bookstore, if you want to support an inclusive children's bookstore, it's Rolling Rabbit Books, and they have books from I've been doing a lot of my Read Around the World project. I've been trying to find, since some of the books I've had a hard time finding authors from certain countries, I actually have been finding authors from countries that I haven't read yet there, and so they're middle grade or young adult books, but they're still, inclusive, and I still learn something. I just finished last month the Turtles at Midnight. If I'm wrong on that title, I'll put it down below. Turtles of the Midnight Moon, that's what it is. Turtles of the Midnight Moon. And that is actually a Honduran author, Honduran American, who writes about the sea turtles and environment, and some of it even was interesting because about the perils of lobster diving down there, and how a lot of them get bends, and actually how badly you can get sick and have a prolonged illness, and it can be debilitating. And that's stuff I learned from, essentially a kid's book, but it's not something that I come into a lot of contact around here, so I thought that it was worth the read and I would recommend it. So anyway, long story short, The Civil War of Amos Abernathy is my fiction blind date book. And for nonfiction, or not nonfiction, audiobook, The Day of the Locusts by Nathaniel West. Now, I don't actually know anything about this book, except for the fact that it's always on the 100 books, 100 central books, or 100 of the best books, and I have been trying to read as many of those as I can, just so I can have a good indication of what some people consider classics or essential, and then determine how I feel about them. And one day I would like to possibly make my own version of it, with my Read Around the World challenge and my just my different interests and stuff, and see if any of those original 100 books still make it onto my 100 list. So I am looking forward to, I don't have a whole lot more to read on that list, and this is one of them that I wrote down that I need to read but did not do any research or know anything about it. So this will be interesting, and I do look forward to listening to it. Thank you. Enjoy and have fun reading. Bye.